Hello everybody, it's Rachel here at Clatty Hands Crafts and I am on day 5 of December Daily. Today's photographs are a selection from a school trip that I had. I went to Auckland Palace and this room is the throne room and I just absolutely loved it. Had to take a photograph and then I've got just a couple more images. I'll tell you a bit more about what's in them as we go along. Now, because it's Auckland Palace, I had a look in my Christmas cards and in a pile that my mum had given me, I had this image, which is a picture of the gates to the palace. And you might have recognised that from day 1, where I went to visit this light show called A Glow, and that's in the palace grounds. But this trip we visited the actual inside of the palace. So my idea is to have this as, in a very similar fashion to the other one, it's going to be opening up like this, and then I've already done my journaling on there. Okay, so that's going to open up, reveal the journaling. Then I'm going to have my image of the throne room just in there. Now, I think I don't want anything interesting around that. I just want to leave it for the photograph to do the talking, because as soon as I walked into that throne room and saw that, I just thought, wow. And I want to have that memory of the wow feeling as I went in. So that's just going to be centered directly onto the page. But then, so I'm going to have this here like this, opening out. But that can go on at the end because I need to have something opening out here to reveal that image, okay? I have these 2 little photographs, although that one's small and that one's not small. So what I'm going to do is have another piece of card. So let me just find something to go in there. Right, I was thinking of something like this, and that would open out. And we're going to have the image on here, but I want some fabricy kind of things in the background there. And then I'm going to make this photograph into a pocket, and then I can pull out that extra photograph from behind it, like this. Can you see that there? I hope so. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to cut that down to size using my board and my knife. And I don't have a particular size, I'm just going to cut off that wonky edge. Now I've got this piece of calico fabric. I think it's called calico, it's a while since I've used it. And then what I'm going to do is just, I want to have an overhang on one edge, so about a centimetre worth of overhang, and you'll see why shortly. Just make sure I get this the right way around. Something like that. So I want the tallest orientation possible. It's going to be that. So that's right up to that line. I turn it that way. Well, it's pretty much square, so it doesn't matter too much, but something tells me to put it that way around, or that way around rather. Right, what I'm going to do now is glue. Just using a glue stick. And even though it's fabric, I'm going to stitch around the edge, you see, so we're not worried about it sticking 100% because the stitching is going to hold it in place. I am giving it a thorough covering. Oops. And line the corners up. Might be easier doing it that way around. And then hopefully I can slide it into position a bit more. Smooth it all out that way. So this is going to be my base So what's going to happen is that's going to be the hinge. It's going to be on there like that, and then that will, oh, wrong way around, sorry. Like that. So that's the hinge. But I'm going to stitch around here for some added interest and added texture, but also it will hold the fabric onto the card. And I think I'll use wet glue for this. I've just got to be careful about it soaking through. Right, so that gives us our extra flappy page. What I didn't do, which I should have done, was cut that down, the width down slightly. So let me just try and pull that, in fact, peel it off, and then I'll stick it down a bit further over so that it overlaps the edge. Peeled my paper slightly there, but that's okay. See how I need to have that gap really, otherwise all of this is going to get mangled if I leave it so that it's right up close to the centre. Right, now if I open that out, I'm going to have this photograph in there. So I need to chop it down. What I can't decide, because I've got this angel here, I don't want to clip its wing. So I think what I'll do is just cut the bottom edge off and lose some of this down here with the wagon wheel. I think the angel's an important part. You can't see too clearly, but baby Jesus and Mary are there, so they're right in the centre. So if I just take a bit more than a centimetre off. Everybody's screaming at me for using fabric scissors on paper. I've pretty much sacrificed those scissors, to be honest. And then we will add glue to the top and bottom. Sorry, I'm keeping it as kind of a belly band slot-in thing rather than a closed pocket. And then it's going to go up there like that. That'll open out. That'll open up. So I just need some sort of image to go. Oh no, have I slid that? Oh no, that's alright. It's a shabby journal, we don't mind that. So I just need to make sure that the photograph stays in place though before that starts sliding around all over. So I will give that time to dry while I am preparing my next bit. How to let it dry, that's the thing. Didn't think this through, did I? Right, I'm going to just let it go like that, close the journal. Right, so we need to have, I'm going to do the same kind of hinge, just using the fabric, but instead I'm going to have, because I've written right up to the edge, I am going to have that on the outside. There's plenty of sky room there. So this painting was done by my parents' neighbour, Rod.
That's good.
He's obviously done a painting and then had some prints made of it, and I think that's a lovely idea, especially when it's somewhere local. I'm just using that same calico fabric for this, and I want to just fray the edges a little bit, but not too much. Right, they don't really want to fray properly. That side was a bit better. And because that's a more attractive side now, because of that fraying, I'm going to have that as the front. She says as she makes a mess of it. Never mind, right. Just cut those dangly edges. I'll leave that one, I don't mind that one there. Again, more visual interest. So let's glue that. And go on top. And depending on how that glue looks, it might get a bit of treatment with some ribbon or something like that over the top. Let's see how that's doing. Is it stuck in position now? Yeah, I think the glue's starting to get tacky. So that'll go over like that. So I just need a thin helping of glue on that side of it. I don't want it all to come out all over the place, but I need enough so that it'll stick. I can go up there, and I'm going to go just below that stitching line for that one. So then it's going to open up, out, like that. To decorate this, I've decided on this angel. I'm going to cut her out loosely, and then she's going to be on, and I can't decide if I need a background for her because I can't tell yet without cutting her out, so I'll do that now. And I'm just going to leave an even border around her so that we get all of the sketchy detail.
Awesome.
So she's a bit too long at the moment. I'm just going to cut a few millimetres off the bottom. Right, I'm going to use some of this music paper. I'm going to stick that down there, I think. There's a kind of backing. No. Oh no. That'll go there. That on top. And then I've got this piece of lace stuff. There, I like that. Try and straighten the music up. Is that a nicer one? Bit more going on. Bit straighter as well, isn't it? Yeah.
Sharpen.
That'll do. So I've torn that and I'm just going to heal it by gluing it together when it gets put down on there. There we go. Nobody will know. And then I'm going to use wet glue for the fabric bit. Although it is quite holy. Holy. And let's hope that it's caught some of the fabric as well. And then she can just go and sit on top like that. I just thought that would be ideal with the angel and the nativity scene. Right, I found this piece of card. I'm going to mount that photograph on there. I'm just going to use a pair of scissors to do it because truthfully I can't be bothered with the cutting mat and the measuring. Got that ready, and then I just want a little piece of fabric to pull it. Alright, I'm just going to add glue down there, stick this piece of lace on, and that will act as a pull to pull the tag out of the pocket. Then I've already glued the photograph. It's going to be centralised over the green. And then I'm going to add another layer with the gold. I'm going all out over the topness for that.
Yeah.
The only thing is with this lace, it's trying to curve and it's quite stiff and plasticky. So let's just hope that it is going to work on there. I'm going to flatten it out. I don't mind it curving ever so slightly, but then I need to weigh that down with something. These stamps will do. No, they won't.
Fine.
Need something with a bit more heft. It's the box for my microphone. So that'll hold that until it starts grabbing. Coming back to this now, I'm just going to cover that with something else. Another bit of lace. And it's going to be my favourite big lace, my favourite thin lace, and that's just going to hide those glue bits. A little touch like that. Add more glue. Thankfully it doesn't show through on the lace because the actual cotton is a bit thicker.
Sure.
Even though it's delicate. It just hides it. I don't know. I can't really explain it. That's just going to overlap on there. Like that. I didn't have enough room for my journaling, so I've made this, which is just on a scrap. And then that's going to go... I should have folded it the other way, so fold. And fold. Then that can go behind the photo. And then finally, soaking that. That's still wet, so I'm just going to show you quickly because I need to get to bed, to be quite honest. That goes behind like that. And then it closes up. And there we have it. So that one goes up, reveals journaling. That one opens that way, reveals a journal card, or rather a photo card. And then the journaling that's done on paper. And my favourite bit of all is the photograph. I really wanted it to just be surrounded by plain cream. So I think we've pretty much done that there. Okay. Now I'm going to let that dry somewhere before we fold it all up. But now I'm going to say goodbye and I will see you again for the next one.